Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of Rehab Gaming. So, for this video, I'm going to go ahead and share with you what you'd expect from this channel and some of the things that you're going to see on this channel in regards to video game equipment, games, controllers, and the methods that I use in order to restore these items back to like new condition. Most of these items have been purchased off of eBay. These items have various issues that need to be troubleshooted. Some items have some extremely glaring issues. For example, this NES controller has been repaired with the classic duct tape because these controller cables are known to get brittle over time. The casing cracks, the wires become exposed, and of course, back in the days, when you're a kid, you grab what you can to fix it so you can keep on playing, and it works. However, for my purposes, I like to restore everything to like new conditions. So we're going to go ahead and in one episode tear apart this controller. We're going to go ahead and check out this cabling here, see if we can either, one, cut out the damaged portion and splice it into the inside of the controller, make it look like new condition. Also, we're going to try and take away some of that discoloration and dirt and grime, get it all cleaned up, clean up all the button contacts, make sure it works properly, and go ahead and add it to the collection. This Super Nintendo controller, it's in fairly decent condition. The controller cable doesn't have any issues that I can see so far. However, with it being banded like this, there could be breaks in the wire or something like that that gives it a intermittent connection. But it could also just be that that cable is fine. The only thing the controller needs is a little bit of cleanup. The buttons have some fairly decent life left in them. That one feels a little mushy up there, but most of these buttons actually work. We're going to tear this apart. If we need to replace some of the silicone contacts that the buttons use to contact to the motherboard on the inside, then we'll go ahead and do that. We'll give it a thorough cleaning, maybe try and do some retro bright on some of this plastic, get some of that old nasty faded dirty gunk off of here. There's some adhesive on the back, and we'll show you how I try and take that adhesive off. And we also have a Nintendo 64 console that, as you can tell, has seen some better days. The console has quite a bit of dust on the inside of it. Probably sat in some kid's room for years and years. I grew up with a Nintendo 64 console. I love this console just for nostalgia's sake. It was a great console. It came out with a lot of great games. And honestly, I don't know. I probably spent hundreds and hundreds of hours playing on this console. Now, this GameCube, never actually had one of these as a kid. I kind of wanted one, but during this era, I actually switched over to the PlayStation 2, and the PlayStation 2 is my go-to console. However, I do respect the GameCube. The GameCube was a innovative console for its time. It was a compact form factor. They squeezed everything that they possibly could into this to give it the best functionality to compete with other consoles on the market and to give it a smaller footprint. The Cube is honestly a good-looking console. It was simplistic in the way that the user could reset the game, open the disc tray, pop a new disc in, although the GameCube ran off of the mini DVD format, so of course it took the miniature discs, and then also it had the memory card slots. Now, with the GameCube and the PlayStation and the original Xbox, back in the day, we didn't have internal memory for saving games, so we had to use memory cards. These slots got used fairly well. As you can tell, this was stored with a memory card in the slot A, and then on slot B, you can see some of this discoloration and stuff like that. So with the discoloration that you see on this plastic, it's caused by exposure to the sun. The sun can cause discoloration on certain plastic components. It can also cause them to become brittle. Now, there are processes where you can try and take some of this yellowing out. Some of them involve hydrogen peroxide. Some of them involve hydrogen peroxide-based hair care products. We're going to go ahead and experiment with some of those and see what works best. This case, though, however, is going to eventually be replaced. The reason for that is because of this glaring issue back here on the carry handle. So this is going to get tossed case-wise. Everything inside of the system seems to be good. We'll go ahead and save stuff like the port covers and whatnot for other consoles. But unfortunately, this case cannot be repaired because of that. So this console was actually damaged in shipping. It's already been remedied. We're actually going to have a video on this console and the various things that I have encountered when buying stuff off of eBay and improperly packed items. That's actually going to go in its own series called Grinds My Gears, where we discuss all of the things that has happened that shouldn't have happened regarding proper packaging and how important it is to make sure, as a seller, you package your items properly to prevent them from being damaged. Now, we have a red Nintendo 64 controller over here. We're going to go ahead and tear apart some Nintendo 64 controllers, give them a good general cleaning. After years of use, you get a lot of gunk built up around here on your directional pad. Sometimes the sticks are really wobbly and really loose and don't have that great of a response. We'll discuss the reason that is, and for the time that Nintendo produced the Nintendo 64 controller, they were using technology that was ahead of its time. However, the execution of the parts in and of itself caused some of the parts to wear out. For example, causing a loose joystick, or some buttons become extremely mushy because parts break down as they're used constantly. These actually have little rubber pads on the back side, on the inside of this controller, that registers the button press. We also have some Nintendo 64 game cartridges that we're going to be restoring to like new condition. For example, this copy of Pokemon Snap probably came from some type of discount store at one point in time, maybe a GameStop or a vintage stock or something like that, and they slapped a price sticker on there. You can see there's a little bit of adhesive right there on the label where it's discolored on the black. There's some adhesive here on the side. There's a little bit of a blue mark here. Looks like it could be some form of Sharpie. And then turn around the back side. We have the damaged back label where it looks like something got on it, or there was possibly a sticker here, and the adhesive discolored the wording on the back side. Also, I am aware that some collectors of retro systems want their games to be as original as possible. So what they will try and do is, if they're hardcore collectors, they really want the item in the exact condition that it was, they'll just leave it like that. Personally, I'd like to restore them to the best of my ability without damaging original components like these stickers. These stickers were horrible for getting wet, the ink running, rubbing off, cracking because of moisture, also cracking because of being left in humid, hot temperatured environments where the label will start to split and peel back. Some guys will do a label replacement, and I think that's fine. It's also just dependent on what you like as an individual. Personally, if I can get a game looking pretty much like I just got it out of the box, I'll do everything I can to make sure that that'll happen. Now, some games, it's not going to be possible to restore them to exactly like new, but you can get fairly close. And then we'll also discuss what I do to each individual game that I get from places like eBay that are used in order to make sure that they are properly maintained and to make sure that they don't have any issues, especially with these pin contacts. They have a tendency to get dirty and corroded. I'll show you how I use some isopropyl alcohol for testing originally. I just run a Q-tip in there, clean it out, see how much dirt's in there, and then after I test it, make sure that there's no other issues, I go ahead and tear it apart, and then I do a thorough cleaning of cartridges like this. So, those are some of the things that you can expect to see on Rehab Gaming. We're going to go ahead and set it up to where all of the playlists are separated by console. Some of them are going to be separated by peripheral devices categories and stuff like that. And they're just going to be some how-to videos of methods I use in order to restore these systems that need a little bit of love and TLC back to like new condition. So, if this is something that might interest you, or if this is something that you might enjoy learning about, please stay tuned to the Rehab Gaming channel. I will try and release as many videos as I can. At the current state, run a little bit behind, had some things come up in the personal life. I had to put this channel kind of on the back burner, but we're going to get into it. We're going to go ahead and tear into some of these systems, and we're going to be posting the videos of that process. So, if you'd like to see more, please subscribe to Rehab Gaming. Click that bell icon, that way you get notified every time that an episode is released. And please feel free to follow us on Facebook. We also have our own Facebook page. Maybe you guys can drop some suggestions of some content that you'd like to see. You can share your stories regarding the video game consoles of your day and what you liked about them, what you didn't like about them, some design flaws, and just your general opinion. Or you can share tips and tricks for other people that are having problems with their systems and trying to get them back up and running. So, without further ado, thank you for watching. Welcome to Rehab Gaming, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day.